Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Hi, welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Yes, today we wait a moment. And here we go. So, first light on. It is light. Okay, so here we go. We are starting with our mission, and yesterday we were, or the day before yesterday, we arrived Rangoon, which is called, oh come on, Rangoon. Let's go. Here, Yangon. It's called Yangon. It's funny that it didn't show the name of the city. Okay, well, that's how it is. Doesn't matter. So, Rangoon, Yangon in Burma. And from here, we are flying today to Akyab, Burma, which is called today Sittwe. Yes. 480 nautical miles mentioned in the daily report of the World Flight Stop in of the Seattle World Cruiser project. Yes, it were in total 480 nautical miles, and yes, basically they have always the same issues and the same problems. Well, the starting, because it seems that low wind and it's always difficult for them. So there wasn't a breath of wind, and the river was like glass. So as you see, quite difficult. And so, but nevertheless, they started. They flew over land, over Basain. Basain, it's today. Let's go here. Yes. It's called Patain. No, if this is the correct wording, Patain. So, so this basically was the route they took from here to Patain. Then again here, small river. Try to figure out a road, whatever, and then from here along the coast. Oh, sorry. Ah, cool. Along the coast to this island, Ramri Island, and then from here to the final destination point, which is Sittwe. Yes, and again here, the same U.S. destroyer waited for them here. And actually, what they mention here, it was actually quite I wouldn't say perfect flight, but there were no difficulties. It was quite okay, the flight, and so they were quite early there to 30 p.m. So well, let's do the same. So funny thing is, I like this kind of measuring, you know, in Google. So you really can, in a way, yeah, okay, and we have in total 371 miles. So, well, let's check. The Microsoft Flight Simulator will show me the direct flight. So that is probably, I don't know, 250, 270. But we will see. Anyway, let's start flying around the world. So Oh, I will have to see if there is. Yes, it's probably there is one. So this is an island, and we want to arrive here in Sittwe. Yes, cool. Let's have a look. Okay. So the best will be to fly along here, and then inside this bay and this small water road. Okay, that's cool. Perfect. Okay, so let's start here at this arrival, and we set our destination point here. Yes, you see 168. So if I could make a second point here somewhere, because we have to go there. I think here to this place here, Pattaya. As you can see, it's visible here. So yes, so we will fly here and then along the coast. Perfect. Cool. Not so easy. Oh man, I think in 1924 they had quite difficulties. Prepare everything, and you can see it's the same destroyer, so in principle they had a destroyer following them. Or even so, sometimes they had 1 or 2 or 3 days off at a destination point to, I don't know, prepare stuff, whatever. And meanwhile, the destroyer was navigating to the next destination point. So, well, quite tough in a way, you know. I mean, it was, you know, prestige in a way, you know, the first nation having the first pilots flying around the world, you know, that's, yes. So, ready to fly. So, let's switch to in-game mode.
Cessna Delta Charlie Echo 30 Whiskey cleared for takeoff runway tree departure to the north approved.
Ready
Cleared
to
for
fly.
takeoff runway tree Cessna 30 Whiskey.
Yeah, perfect. We're ready. Navigation online. We're ready to start. So, Yangon to Sittwe. Ladies and gentlemen, the Caribbean air taxi is starting. Release, fasten your seatbelt. We are proceeding with the start. A perfect start. Oh,
Cessna 30 Whiskey, continue for north departure. I will contact you next when you leave my airspace.
that's really nice. All this the jungle. No, it's probably not a jungle here. Actually, they mentioned quite a lot, or in the daily report, that it was for them quite nice to fly along the coast and see all this jungle. So, well, probably it's totally different today. So, Okay.
0 Whiskey, did you copy?
Yes, we copy. So let's have a look. Local time, it's yes 3:30. Yes, that's correct. Okay, speed. I think we have to go in this direction. I think something west.
0 Whiskey, please acknowledge.
265 to 6070 or something like this. Yes, I think that's correct. Lying to the west. Hey, look at this. Cool. So
Cessna 0 Whiskey, did you copy? Cessna 0 Whiskey, you are leaving my airspace frequency change approved.
yes, I know. That's exactly what I wanted to do all the time. Leaving your airspace, flying towards Sittwe. I think 1.5 should be okay. Don't want to fly too high. I mean, here we have some nice area to watch, especially this small area in the mountains.
Cessna 0 Whiskey, ATC services terminated.
Perfect. So everything is clear? Yes. Okay, I think the wind is coming from north, because I'm drifting away to the left. Make small adjustment. It's very, very interesting, you know, that you can use, I think it was this one. Let's have a look. First, I'll try to find the optimum. Yes, this trim, elevator trim. That's really cool. I mean, never heard about this, but well, I mean, not probably every pilot learns this, but yes, for me it was new, and it was really cool that you can adjust the basic settings so that based on the outside, well, weather, and wind situation, and then you can yes, optimize everything so then you in a way have can keep the direction without all the time moving your joysticks or whatever you have, your flying gear. So that's cool. That's really nice. I even don't know if they in the past they had this kind of adjustment possibilities. This Douglas World Cruiser, if from I don't know, maybe I think the technique to implement this was maybe it was possible to do this, but the thing is, if from the knowledge so to yes, in a way to understand or to realize, yes, something like this will be quite nice, so that it is easier for a pilot to keep direction and adjust during the flight. the necessary settings so that he doesn't need always to correct and to do stuff. I mean, you always have to be there, but especially in the early days of flying. But yes, the question is if this trim possibility was available. Anyway, doesn't matter. I have it. I use it. So, oh, come on. Oh, that's really nice. Okay, let's have a look outside. Perfect weather. Wonderful. So, let's have a 360-degree view. My favorite. Cool. All this. It's a really fantastic view. So that's great. That's really great. So in total, I was looking yesterday. So about the total hours and miles of the whole world tour. So 27,000 nautical miles and 371 hours. We are, well, if we take the log file 2024, then now they are at around 10,800 nautical miles in total, and I think around 150 hours. That's it's not almost half, but well, not far away. And as I mentioned yesterday, I think for me it's around now, for sure, with this flight, let's say 10,000 nautical miles, and I would say around 100, 110, something like this. But it's hours, 110 hours flying time, so it's quite cool in a way or another. Yes, that's fantastic. That's really amazing. So here we go. Everything works perfect. That's really cool. And yes, So 46, 47 frames per second. That's I think that's okay. CPU is now normally at 75%. No, GPU and CPU is around 35%. Interesting. I mean, I placed the figures for the CPU and GPU on my Stream Deck just to have a look, and that's in principle I can say that the GPU is always around 75% and the CPU is around 35%. So it seems and it's quiet. This is the most important thing. It's really quiet. That's really cool. So yes, from tomorrow, I think tomorrow will be the last time I think for this year where I will have this slot in the morning, so local time morning. So for you it depends where you are. If you are watching me live, then I have to figure out. Probably I will switch to the evening. Again, local time here, and yes, because well, kindergarten is closed during the year, so I have my daughter here, and well, I don't think I can fly in the morning when she's here around and watching and asking, hey, what are you doing? Why are you flying? What's it? What does it look like? Oh, can I watch? I mean, it's interesting in all this stuff, but she's a little bit too young. So, anyway, evening, local time. So I have to switch my flying time, and then I have to figure out, maybe I will try to get well, to split the sequence in 2 or 3 flights. I mean, if we have I don't know, 3 hours, actually that's say I have around 2.5 to 3 hours in the evening where I can fly, and so basically this so I will update on weekend. I will update everything so that we can so that it's visible for you and for me. Yes, it's so amazing flying around. Actually, I like these morning sessions because it's quite as I mentioned, it's quite relaxing, you know, sitting here flying around. It's, I mean, my other game I'm playing now is Cyberpunk, and here we Cyberpunk is much more hectic. It's much more hectic, and so this is really just enjoying flying. Oh, that's cool. I'm really wondering if 1924, all this area, for example, if this was everything jungle. I don't know. Maybe you have to ask. I think maybe there are some pictures about the time, 1924, and. Or reports about people being here. Trying to discover an undiscovered world. So yes, probably there are quite a lot of daily reports and even maybe books written about this area, or other areas, you know. So actually I'm waiting a little bit. The project world tour, where I'm taking the data, the details for every flight, and then I read the report, the daily report. There should be an update coming, actually, so probably until the end of the year. So it's really interesting to see what changes they have done, and yes, what type of information, and maybe I would like to have, you know, if possible, to have more pictures. You know, it will be nice to have, if possible, attached to the daily report if there are any photos available, because I think this is quite nice to see really this area. I mean, even so, flying from A to B, I think it's nice to have, you know, sitting in the airplane, maybe the mechanic who was sitting behind, maybe he had the time to put some photos. Yes, it will be very interesting to have these photos live in the internet and to watch them. I don't know if there are any copyrights. I know that in Washington there's a museum with I think the Washington, the airplane Washington is there, and also other photos and information about this flight. So actually I have to check. I was in Washington and I took a lot of photos, so maybe in one of these photos I maybe take a photo of this airplane. I mean, I don't know if I was in a lot of museums, but I don't know if I was in this specific museum, and if there's only one museum including all So an exhibition only for this specific world tour, or it's a part of a greater exhibition, and one part is the world tour and there are other things. I'm not quite sure. I don't know. Long time ago, you know. Yes, but actually we were in New York, and then we're after New York, Washington, and it was after the busy New York with a lot of wow, cool. Oh, here was Spider-Man, and there was another Spider-Man flying around. I mean the same one, but in this building, and all the cool stuff, and so it was really crazy. And then Washington was really relaxing. I think it was also during the time where everybody was on holiday. So yes. So that's back to the homepage. So I hope that there will be an really I hope that there will be an update, and so hi there. I think there's someone watching me. Yes, so hope you enjoy the flight. It's we just started at, let's have a look. Now we have we started just half an hour ago. Yes, and we are now flying to the west coast, and then along the coast up to Sittwe. And yes, it's a wonderful area here. It's really nice. Oh, here you see the mountains. Beautiful weather, so perfect sightseeing weather to fly around. Look at this, really, really cool. Actually, I was thinking to maybe it is, let's say, to change a little bit this kind of views, because I have only this 360-degree view, which I modify my flying gear so it's possible to have this kind of view. But on the other hand, you know, you always watch YouTube video, or I am watching sometimes YouTube videos, you know, seeing other stuff, especially the flight simulator, and there are some really cool views. So if you're flying from the top down, that's really cool. And also next to the wing, so the wing and the tonnage, and then place here a camera. Also really cool. And I have to figure out if I can in a way manage to place the camera in the specific direction and angle I would like to have, and then save this as a view, and then put it on a button on the flying gear. So then I can press the button, and then whoop, I have this specific view, because it looks really cool. It's it's maybe something different, and especially this from the top down. That's really amazing. So I have to check. this is possible. Yes. I mean, I think it's possible. I just figure out how to do this, but it gives you a little more of flexibility, especially when placing this video later on YouTube, or even maybe later. I still have in my mind to take the highlights of each flight and make a summary in a way. I'm still not there. It's something that I have to prepare. But then it gives you more cool views, which you can then place as highlights in the video. I mean, such a video normally it is around, I don't know, 3 to 5 hours, and probably not many have the time to watch 3 hours a flight. So I think it makes sense to have this kind of compressed view on this tour, on a specific or each sequence of the tour. But yes, I have to figure out how to do this. I'm not so an expert on cutting, so I'm just learning again to cut and to prepare stuff. When I was younger, I was with friends together. We were taking videos, and then also were cutting them with Adobe Premiere by the time. Later with Final Cut Pro, and then I had a long time. I've done nothing in that direction, so it's basically starting from scratch. Yes, that's how it is. And it also takes time. I mean, if you really want to sit, to cut, to look, maybe to make it cool in a way, some background music. I think, yes, by the way, I mean, I will, it's probably when I will the first time play such a video, compressed video, and also underlaid with the music. Then probably I will also mention that actually this music is I took this music from Trimbits. It's also one YouTuber, Alpha Gaming, which well, actually had a cool idea, especially now with the latest problems on Twitch with music that is in the games, and where the music industry now, well, let's say, are quite actively pushing the streamers and Twitch, and so there's some kind of an uncertainty how to deal with it. So actually there's a cool idea. We have the possibility to load this music from Dreambeats and use it for free. So and I think it's really cool. So I mean, it's also then I think it's fair to mention the page, and I think it's Harris Heller. I'm not quite sure. I think so. Yes. But Alpha Gaming and Trimbits. So fairly to mention this. I think it's cool. So I have to find the music and then cut everything. No, I thought around 15 minutes that should be enough. But if you have this with 15 minutes, then it should look in a way really cool. I mean, well, I think this is it's important. And so here we see, I think this is the airport of this little town we're flying to. And yes, so basically I would like to make some really cool stuff, and I'm using DaVinci Resolve, which is I really like. Therefore I now said, okay, let's switch to the full version. But I didn't receive the full version. There are so many people using it and wanted to have this full version, especially there was this kind of offer with you get a little device so you can cut and do all the stuff with buttons, so it's everything already there. So a small editor device, and which you get for free in addition with this with the software, and so many people have decided to buy this. So my distributor told me yesterday, oh yeah, well, you have to wait until February next year. And I said, oh no. So because then you have much more cool stuff you can integrate in the videos, so to make it a little bit more fancy. So yes. So on the other hand, I have time to figure out how to do this a little bit, thinking myself on the technique, on the cutting style, and whatever. Also watching YouTube videos, other people using DaVinci Resolve, and I think I will start also a little bit this kind of tutorial. There are many tutorials, and I think it is important to have where is the city? Here, okay. Okay, I'm a little bit more to the north, but doesn't matter. It's in principle, the important part is that they also mentioned they passed this city, so it's not mentioned that they really flew over the city. So maybe also a little bit north, who knows. Anyway, there is the water and the coast, and then we fly up to the north, we take the route. No, it's always depending on how attractive is a video. If you find a possibility, or if I can find a possibility to make it a bit more dynamic, including fast speed cutting and fancy overlays and well, dream beat music, really good drum beat, and well then I think you can have a good video, or maybe let's say even a worse video, and if you have someone who's really good in cutting and making all the stuff, then you get a really cool video. Especially if it's, I don't know, 10 to 20 minutes. If it's longer, then there has to be a story and whatever. So then probably you realize, okay, the guy who has cut this video is really cool, but the story itself, well, or the material, But here it's just flying around the tour from A to B. which is of course wonderful, but it's very smooth, so no action. And the question is, how can I get on a higher level in terms of dynamic and action-oriented video? I don't know. I have to find out how to do this. It's always a mix of I think music and the cut and zoom in, zoom out, a little bit fast, slow, whatever, overlays, you know. So well, let's figure out it's something new. But again, the studio version of DaVinci Resolve, it's also supports the graphic card, and then the whole process is really improved. It's really fast. It's and I think this is also very important, because I mean, if you are a full content creator, then you probably have your own room, you know, and I'm watching, of course, some people on YouTube, like Alpha Gaming or Sam, or whoever. I think Gonzalez, he's called. He's actually his YouTube style is really cool. He's very natural, and he's presenting everything around cameras, and so this is some kind of you know, in a way also inspiration, because you look at these guys, how they're doing, or ladies, how they're watching or how they are creating their style in a way. And I think this is in a way also something that is important for me to really and motivates you in a way to define your own way of presenting stuff, you know, ideas for creating content, you know, and I think this is that's really cool. That's it's really motivating, and all this YouTuber and all this content creator, they have their own room, their own space, you know, with all this information, or not information, with all this, you know, things they are presenting. You know, some have their cutting computer behind, or you know, different cameras, or you know, whatever. You know, it's the room they are working, because they're full-time content creator, and this is quite cool. And so having this possibility, then it's really, of course, it's much more easier to work for yeah, well, to do your job in a way. I mean, it's something that you like, and it's you have space, time, you can do it all day long, and you know, so it's I think easier in a way. You know, if it's, for example, like me, I'm just streaming, or started to stream, and I don't know, maybe in the future, maybe I can get to this step, So to between or from just streaming to really content creator on a higher level, and then full-time content creator. That will be cool. I mean, that's well, let's see. It's nothing that comes from one day to another. Then I think it's also a process of development. I think one step is this Microsoft Flight Simulator and the world tour with a World Douglas cruiser. Well, in my mind, but live I'm flying a Cessna, which is really wonderful. It's so cool. It's amazing. Look at this, and it's a Caribbean one. Look at this. It's so fantastic. It looks so nice. And by the way, full-time mode. Look at this beautiful area. Wow. All these small islands. Come on, isn't this beautiful? It's amazing. Wow. That's fantastic. Oh, and look at the sea. A little bit of wind is there. Wow. This is really, really cool. That's so nice. Look at this coast. Wow, how beautiful. Look at this beach. It's crazy. Wow, so fantastic. Yes, that's really, really fantastic. Wow, that's so nice. So, content creator, yes. I mean, the cool, I mean, if you have really an own space and maybe some, I don't know, 15 to 20 square meter, that's totally enough. It's cool. You can place your computer, all the stuff, make the room really crazy. You know, have big space for placing the camera and whatever. I wouldn't show my computer because it's not this kind of fancy computer with water cooling and everything blinking and whatever. I don't know. Probably when I let's say when I got to this level of being a full content creator somewhere in the future, I hope so, I don't know, then maybe I can ask someone. I mean, there are a lot of people outside, also on YouTube, which are creating computers. Not creating, actually, they are putting them together so that it looks fancy and so on. And then maybe I will well, contact some of them and asking for well, a cool computer. And basically, I think then it might, for sure, it will be you know, dual system. A big case with a small board and a normal board with all the stuff included, and everything water cooled. But to be quiet. Yes. Well, let's see. For now, we are flying around. So we are here in Burma. Myanmar, as it is called now. Actually, it's a really nice area. Really, really cool. And we have 180 nautical miles left. So everything else is running perfect. Computer, no drop frames or whatever. I had in the past a little bit of problems because I was using as preset high quality for the stream. And this caused some issues with all these calculations, and it seems that my computer or my graphic card had some issues, so it wasn't possible to calculate everything. I don't know why, because it's another chip that encode the material. So I'm not quite sure why this is like that, but and I was watching some YouTuber presenting or telling how to well, the best settings for OBS, and actually yes, they mentioned all that high is okay, and yes, I tried. I thought, oh, let's try high quality, and this has also an influence on my frames per second, because now I'm at 48, 49, and when I was and now I'm using just high as preset, but if I'm using high quality, then it's reduce also my the frames per second to, I think, up to 7 to 10 frames per second is lower. Depends on the different scenario, but I mean, I was flying over sea and left the coast with high quality. I was around 40, 43 frames per second, around something like this, and now I'm on 49 to 50, so that's a difference. And I think besides this, everything is green, so all this kind of information you get on OBS about frames and FPS and blah blah blah, it's all perfect. So it sounds like a good setup now. Yeah, sometimes you need to stop, saying, okay, I've got the best possible settings and setup for with the computer we have, or with the system you have, so that's okay. So I hope I think now I have it. And the interesting thing is, if and this is quite, I think this is normal, when I switch off OBS, then the frames per second goes up, I think 5 to 7 frames per second. That's so OBS is really also using resources, and that has an influence on the game, on the simulation. So here we are flying around, watching this beautiful area. Cool. Another way to watch on the airplane. A beautiful blue sky, the weather is really perfect. So I think from Sittwe we are, I think next step is, or the next stage is, or destination point is in India. think there must be the island. I hope. I see a very small well, villages, but not this kind of this big huge cities like it was in China. You know, along the coast there were actually sometimes I had the feeling it's one big city going along the coast, and actually there were several cities. Yes, huge population, and here it looks really well. Here and there you can see a small village and maybe one or two buildings, but still a lot of nature. And probably some tourists. So 150 nautical miles left. That's really nice. Yes. Question is if there's more jungle or only really this is what's left of maybe a huge jungle was here probably in 1924. Question, I'm not quite sure how detailed or how much of the reality the key eye has calculated when it was creating this area. Uh, 140, so 45 minutes, I think so. 1 hour and 50 minutes left, and then we will be at our destination point. Actually quite happy about this weather. enjoy the flight. Wow, look at these beaches. I think that is really, really beautiful to have here. You know, a small house, a little garden, and then in front of you every morning you go to the beach, swimming in this wonderful weather, water, enjoying the wonderful weather. Oh, that must be really cool. So let's have a look. So okay, from Sittwe in Burma we have another 480 miles to Chittagong in Bangladesh. So yes, we are leaving Burma with the next flight and we're flying to Bangladesh. By that time in 1924 it was belonging to Burma. But well, whatever, it has changed. So now Chittagong is belonging to Bangladesh, and then after that we have a flight from Chittagong in Bangladesh over to Calcutta in India, where probably they had a short stop for refueling, and then flying to Allahabad. So this is the final destination point. So this is our last flight in Burma, and tomorrow we will pass Burma we'll pass the border from Burma to Bangladesh, 480 nautical miles. So let's have a look. Yes, this will be tomorrow. So tomorrow then we're in Bangladesh, and then it's India. Mazin, okay. Okay, there's an airport. Doesn't look like an airport actually. Well, I mean, in Seaward, I think it was Seaward, I'm not quite sure. It was Seaward or Atka Island or Atto Island, I don't know. There was an airport, and this airport actually was a grass field. So not always when there is mentioned there is an airport, that this airport is really looks like a airport with a runaway as well. You would normally expect. Sometimes it's a small building and a grass field, and that's it. But I mean, with a small machine, even with a Cessna, you can land. You have around, you need around, I think 800, I think minimum 700 meters, but I think it's better to say 800 is minimum for landing. So that's all you need. But you definitely need to reduce the speed to, I don't know, 80. I think that's important. Otherwise, you may face the same experience I had in the past, that I was totally too fast. Well, I was not. It was at the beginning of my journey. So yes, some things I had to learn. So learning by doing. Are we almost there? Should be a small island, or a little bit. Actually, not a really small island, more, but. Hey, hi. Well, I'm flying from Yangon to Sittwe. So it's from actually it was along the coast. So from Yangon to the west, the coast, and then up to Sittwe. It's in Burma, or Myanmar as it's called today. Oh, it's a quite well relaxed flight, as you see. No clouds, perfect weather. So hi, nice to have you back here. Actually, this is our last, well, almost last day in Burma. So tomorrow we will fly to Bangladesh. So and then we will be in from Bangladesh aus to India. Yes, step by step or I'm flying towards west, and I think maybe 3, 4, 5 flights, and then we pass a half line. Half line means 13,500 nautical miles, and we have now around almost 11,000 nautical miles, and flight time total flight time is 371, so 185 hours. Then we are halfway to finalize the world tour. That's cool. Yes, so really actually a quite nice area. So many lovely islands. Look at this. Really beautiful. Really many small islands, and not so many cities. I mean, maybe here and there you can see small buildings and so on, and I was wondering if there's more jungle available as shown here in the flight simulator. I'm not quite sure. Will be interesting to have someone from this region which can tells you, yes, there's much more jungle here on the islands and also on the mainland. It's a question if the KI has calculated and implemented everything what is visible on the maps provided by Microsoft, because there are some areas, for example here at the end of the island, where it seems there is something, but it wasn't really maybe calculated in a way. On the other hand, here you can see that the land here is used by a farmer. So there are a lot of farms here, but in some areas you have really some kind of VYYY textures. So sometimes it seems, well, maybe if there will be a major update in this area, maybe you see much more jungle. I don't know, maybe. But anyway, it's really nice area with a lot of small islands and really a lot of nature, and I think this is really cool. So where are you from? Are you from this area? Oh, and are you also? I don't know if I ask this question, but are you also flying? Oh, Norway. Hey. Yes, Norway, a really beautiful country. Really nice. Actually, I was living there for 2 years in Oslo. Made some small sightseeing tours, and one of the really fun stuff or cool stuff I ever seen was a small island, I think southwest of Oslo. So I was making some tours around Oslo, and there was a small island with some houses there, no, and there was parking slots for vessels, you know, and one parking slot there was an airplane. So it was so cool. I was sitting there and I was like, wow, that's fine. The other guys have, or one family has a boat, he has an airplane. It was a small one, I don't know what type of, it was on pontons in the water. It was really nice. Are you also yes, using or flying with the Microsoft Flight Simulator? Or are you maybe a pilot in reality? I mean, I don't know. Maybe, who knows? I think this is the island. The one. Yes. So basically behind the island we are then almost there at the destination point. Ah, okay. Actually, also sometimes I'm looking on Twitch, well, different channels, other people, what they are just doing or playing or chatting. So it's quite. On the other hand, what I like very much is the you learn or you see what type of games people are watching and are playing, you know. I mean, so that's really cool. There's so many things out there. Yes, and for me it's now the flight simulator. Here we go. Actually, it's quite fun. I've done a change on my chat to slow motion, low mode. Low mode, exactly. I don't know what does it mean. Is it? I mean, it seems that it's a little bit slower on chatting. I try to push it back, but I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't. Look at that! It doesn't seem that it's actually creating any problem. So remain how it is. Anyway, it's working. That's the most important part. Wow. Cool. Small little buildings there. A little town. It's cool. Okay, there's several little villages here. This is really fantastic. Actually, I was also thinking that something that must be really beautiful is flying along the coast in the northern part of Europe, towards some fjords, you know, and so I don't know, starting in Sweden, and then along up the coast to Norway, along the coast up to, oh, I don't remember the town. There's this one the highest town, or town highest to the north of Norway. I think that must be also very nice. But the point is, I would wait doing something like this. So I hope that a major update will come for Europe, where, you know, there are more details, and then it makes more sense. Because I think this is really a beautiful area, and I think it may be more beautiful in terms of what is integrated in the Microsoft Flight Simulator when it's more realistic. And I hope all this major updates also improve the quality of the textures and yes, all the information that are available on the ground, so you can see it. But I think this is also something really beautiful. Flying around the coast. And I think what will be much more beautiful if you have all the vessels and the boats in the water seeing. I think this is also sailing boats and all the small and big vessels. I think that must be also very cool if you can see them. I think something very nice. Yes, but really, really beautiful. I mean, I haven't traveled so much in Norway, only around Oslo, but really, really wonderful. Yes, and Holmenkollen, I think on the north side, this area. Cool. Yes. I don't know if it is correct, Holmenkollen. I always had my difficulties with pronunciation. Ha. That's how it is. Doesn't matter. But now all this area north of Oslo. Yes, and I've learned skiing in Norway. It's not alpine, this one. I don't know how it's called in English, I forgot. This walking on the skis. And also it was fun, you know, getting into the tram and then up to Holmenkollen, where you could, or another area, but you could that was the possibility to take the metro or the tram, and then up to the north, and then let's go. Yes. Almond column. Yes. That's true. I know when I was when I came to Oslo, there was you know where the opera is. No, not the opera. Sorry, the no, how is it called? This on the water. This music hall. And on one side there was this industry. They were started to well, to build new buildings and so on. So I don't know if this is already finished, but I saw some kind of big plan or a map how it looked like in the future. So when I then left Oslo, it wasn't, I think they started, but it wasn't finished. But well, looked very promising. Really nice. So let's go back to Burma, and I think we have 73 nautical miles left, so we're almost there. So that's perfect. Okay, let's take another view. So, go back into the pilot's cabin. So, here we go. I think somewhere there must be the airport. Okay. Here we are. I'm just thinking around. There was Skoyen, Majustran, Akyab. I think it's this area I know, which was, well, quite new with all this new fancy buildings and all the restaurants next to the town hall. Is it Akyab? I think so. I don't remember any. I think it was Akyab. Yeah, probably you know better than me. Anyway, that's yeah, that was cool. Actually, I like to go there, take a coffee and watch on the sea. Aha. Oh, so many islands. That's really cool. Fantastic. So, ladies and gentlemen, Caribbean Air Taxi is almost at the destination point. So, 57 nautical miles left. Akyab to you. Interesting. Ah, yes. I think somewhere here, because they started from Seattle, or in Seattle, and until Calcutta, India, exactly. They used pontons, and then they changed to wheels. So because well, I think probably, I mean, actually all the time they flew along the coast, so it makes sense to use pontons. And later on they changed to wheels, and I think somewhere in UK, I think they changed again to pontons until I think New York, something like this, or Canada, I don't know. I think New York, and then again they switched to wheels back. because they flew over land to Seattle. So I think this is also something that might be very nice, to have the possibility to make some changes, especially for light airplanes, where you have this possibility of maybe changing or make some changes. I think some basic ones. Actually, I have to check if this airplane, the Cessna, if it's possible to, or there is any option to have pontons instead of wheels. I don't know. Look at this. Really nice. So I hope you enjoy the flight. I'm really enjoying the flights, all these flights. And especially now I can see something, so I think this will be probably the first flight with flying, or during the whole flight we have daylight conditions, which is really cool. But even when I started in Seattle and everything was dark and black, it was also, it was this kind of exciting feeling starting with this world tour. And anyway, flying an airplane, even so it is a simulation, but and also flying around the world, having this possibility of flying around the world inside a game. So this was really, that was really amazing, this feeling. Now it's more something like, yeah, that's really cool. I mean, it's still cool, but it's just kind of, I see I'm more experienced, and then it's more, I'm not so nervous anymore, let's say it like this. Because this is, I think, one of the feelings I really remember when starting this flying around the world. I was quite nervous because with an airplane and whatever, and I have this kind of rules. I mean, I start one sequence and I have to finish it. So if I have a crash or whatever, then I have to start it again. I don't use an autopilot, so I have to fly on my own. And the third one, I think it's the same route, so I try to, in a way, fly the same route the 4 airplanes had taken in 1924. Sometimes it's possible, sometimes not, so I mean, they don't really, in the log file, they don't really mention where we took this way and that way, whatever. Sometimes you can find some information and then I follow the route. In some cases, it's a little bit difficult to find this information. But nevertheless, it's quite exciting. And even so, you see some kind of things that definitely Microsoft has to improve. I think still it's really amazing. I mean, it's so wonderful. I mean, you know, of course some details are missing, but I mean they will come over time. But still, you know, the basics are there. You know, I mean, flying in reality in this area, you will see probably the same. Will have the same view, all these details and small islands and bigger islands and the geographical yeah, changes and the geographical differences in different areas. I mean, that's what makes every area unique, and I think this is it's there. So it's just that it has to be enriched with more information and more well, maybe also dynamic information or dynamic textures and all this additional information to make it much more natural. But anyway, it's all there. It's really cool, and it's really nice. It's really fun to fly around. And for sure, it makes much more fun if you have a flying gear. It doesn't. You don't need really this well, high level flying gear, but there are a few others which doesn't cost so much, and you have a completely different feeling than flying with keyboard and mouse. I think that's now I mean, if someone asking me, I will always recommend to start with I mean a basic flying gear, and later on, I mean, if you see, wow, you really like it and it's cool and you're more enthusiastic and want to try more, then of course you can maybe after a while, when you know what you need, then you can well, change your gear and buy a more professional one. Also, when I started with flying, I had already a gear from Logitech, X52 Pro, and I haven't changed anything. So basically the basic settings I used for flying, because by that time I anyway didn't knew what to change or what I need and what I don't need. And the funny thing was when I was flying the Bering Sea and from one island to the other, and then I was, yes, I think it was from to Komodorsky Island, and I was almost there, and then I pressed a button and I don't know what happens, and then my motor was switched off and I couldn't start it again, and well, it ended up in the water. So I had to start flying again. This I think Ata Island or Atko Island, I don't remember, to Komodorsky Island. Yes, I had to start again with the flight. And I had also, I think, 1 or 2 times a crash on my computer. Then, well, in this case, I won't start again because there was something from computer. So this is basically much easier. You know around where you are, and then you start again. But this, well, but then I, because I had already some flights, so I knew a little bit what I need, and then it was much easier than to change all the settings on the flying gear, because you have, I don't know, around 40 buttons here, so quite a lot of possibilities. So well, some of them I didn't change, others I changed, and I still have some buttons which are not used. So in principle, I would like to use them for creating some views. You know, when I send that is much easier for me when pressing a button. Then I directly switch to this view, and so I hope it's possible. Let's check it out. Anyway, 25 nautical miles left. We are here. So have a look. I think this is really nice. So let's go down. I think we can fly in, I don't know, 1,500 to 1,000 feet. I think that's much nicer. Yes, here we go. Power, and yes. Oh, here you can see a little bit of a jungle. And
500.
wow, that's cool. That's really wonderful. This is really, really beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your flight. We are now preparing for landing in Sittwe. Please fasten your seatbelts and, well, have a look on the right side out of your window. Enjoy this wonderful jungle. Really, really nice. Let's have a 360-degree view. Cool. So I haven't seen so many airplanes actually in this area. That's quite interesting. Yes. So I will wait until I'm out of this water road, or what it's called, and then go to the left, because then it's a perfect angle to see then in front of me the runway of the airport. Here it is, somewhere there. So I think also I will, yeah, oh, 8 nautical miles left. Okay, so let's prepare for landing. Ladies and gentlemen, we are preparing for landing. So, eight nautical miles, wow, that was not fast. Somewhere there, it's the airport. Not quite sure if there is something blinking. It's in some areas you have this blinking navigation system indication light. That okay, here is the airport, so I have to go there. And here again, as you can see in the middle screen, there are some information in the water. FD is D29. I think these are information about vessels that are there but are not visible. Actually, I should go to vessel tracker to check SD29, FD29. I think so. I'm not quite sure. I haven't really understood what this information means, because there is nothing there in the end. What you can. It's nothing visible. I mean, in front of the airplane should be now something be. If there's a vessel, there should be a vessel be visible, but it's not. So. SD29. Let's have a check. I will go then to the vessel tracker and check if there is, if in this area it's an, there is vessel. So, but now we have to prepare for landing. I think this is hopefully the right angle. I hope so. I think there's something red, so maybe this is the right angle. Yes, I think so. It looks that I'm yes. No. Perfect. And here the sun. So oh, that's really, really cool. I think that is a perfect, yes, perfect angle. So, ladies and gentlemen, prepare for landing. In a few minutes, we are in Sittwe. Cool. Okay, let's go a bit more to the right. Here we go. And let's go down. Be very careful, it's a very small runaway. So I have to be very, very fast. I mean, smooth landing, but no, come on. Wow, perfect. Cool. Yes. Hey, that was really a perfect landing. Cool. So the question is, can I hope that at the end of the runaway I can that was really a perfect landing. Cool. So let's have a check. I mean, there must be some no, that's interesting. So I can turn around, so this is possible. So let's do this. Okay. But that's very interesting. Normally, I mean, if you are landing on this runaway, how can you get then back? It makes more sense to build some kind of, you know, at street, or you know, at both ends that guide you to the main building and the parking position. Well, that's how it is. Maybe this wasn't the right landing part, but I don't think so. I mean, depending where you're coming, normally it should be on both sides possibility to land on the runaway. Okay, let's see. I have to go here. Oh, I think I go here out. Yes. Yes, very interesting. Here we go. Wow, look at this. Ooh, there are really many. Okay, I go to the left. Here they are waiting for me already. Okay, let's round. Oh wow, it's okay. Okay, that was not perfect. Okay, let's then do it the other way around. So I hope it's possible now to make a turn around. I don't know, a little bit of okay, now I've got this. Here we go. Yes, finally managed. So let's have a look. Local time. Switch off. Local time is 5:30. Perfect. And then let's have a look outside. Here we are. Beautiful weather. We are almost. Okay. Taxi has so we are in Sittwe. So perfect. Yes, it was a really cool flight. Actually, it was quite nice, and I think all these islands around the coast, it's really, really beautiful. Beautiful area. Really beautiful area. So now the next flight will be from Sittwe to Chittagong in Bangladesh. So hope you enjoyed the flight, and yes, see you next time flying around the world. And well, have a nice I don't know, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. Bye bye.